do not expect that usual boring rant about streaming platforms from me. I will not rant about how streaming platforms have destroyed music industry, how they made our songs simpler, shorter, and much less fascinating and amusing. It is not a video about that. Instead, I want to make an advice to you, to any music lover, to any person who likes occasionally to listen to music and to explore new music. It will be a small tutorial on how to make your own platinum record and why you should do it. So what you see here is iPod Shuffle. It's from 2010s. It's the best device that I own. It's one single most flawless, best, most perfect device that I own, and I will explain you why, and I will explain you why you shouldn't have it, but what you can have instead. I have a double opinion on streaming music, and it is a very convenient way to explore new music, not through algorithms, but just through search. There are various ways to explore music, both with your friends, with your colleagues, their playlists, with Reddit forums and platforms that do offer you some music recommendations, with other platforms like YouTube. Here, a lot of people are sharing their thoughts, essays, and ideas about various albums and about various records. But for me, it was something different all along the way. A couple of words about my journey as non-audiophile since I was early teen. Well, when I got this as a present, it was my first Apple device. It was my first dedicated, beautiful device that I owned, and it is my favorite device, as I mentioned. As I got it, I also found on Twitter a film about how music compression destroys music. All the trend about how digital technology and about how modernity makes music more primitive, worse to listen, etc. It's a very long rant. It happens for a very long time, and I was in its way as well. So at the very early age of 12, I guess, I believe that you should never listen to MP3 music. You don't listen to it. It cuts off all of the frequencies. You don't experience music as you should. It's a terrible way to listen to music. You should never listen to music this way. So I believe this, and I was fascinated by this documentary. I showed it to all of my fellow musicians that I know, and they said, "Ooh, makes sense. Okay, of course." And what a beautiful thing that this iPod Shuffle had LAAC. So it's like FLAC. It's a lossless codec of music that cuts off basically almost nothing. It's not hi-fi, of course, but it's much better, supposedly, allegedly, than usual MP3s. But a thing that stood out to me is that I got to have iTunes. Everyone from my class, those a couple or 3 or 4 people who got Apple devices, they were constantly screaming at and nagging iTunes as a very worst piece of software, as something you should never want to have, as something that is a pure terrible thing. And when I installed it, I liked it because it let me make my entire music library. For those who don't know, I am an advocate for piracy. I love piracy. I am from Eastern Europe. In our countries, a lot of records, a lot of things were not sold and are still not sold for various reasons. First, due to economic, now to geopolitical reasons. And that is why I'm a huge advocate for piracy. I love piracy. I recommend it for everyone. And as a creator, as a producer of arts myself, I believe that it does not hurt most of artists. And when it does, there are ways to prevent it which are also quite legible and viable. But today's video is not about piracy. I have an entire dedicated video about piracy here. You should watch it to get a new perspective on piracy and to view it in a new way, probably more nuanced and more inventive. But today, as promised, I will explain you why you should have your own platinum record. So my own platinum record is here. To say you the truth, I don't often get entirely new songs here. Instead, what it became my top favorites, top picks album. If you have your favorites on Spotify or Apple Music, if you have like your top music of all time at any streaming platform, and you like to listen to it occasionally, what I propose you to have is to have a dedicated device. It can be anything. It can be not iPod Shuffle. It can be your old Nokia phone. It can be anything. It can be your old computer that you have stationary and that you can connect a dynamic to. So you have a dedicated device especially for your best music that gets associated in your mind with this absolutely best music. For me, it's a collection of multiple things. First is early albums of Arctic Monkeys and latest albums of them, as well as Tyler the Creator, a couple of albums of his. I think his last album was actually quite interesting, though for a while I did not like his albums at all. And there are a lot of Belarusian music, both rock and folk and other music that I like. There are a lot of jazz records, a lot of swing jazz records that I like and listen for all like 10 years or so. There are a lot of hits from Postmodern Jukebox, which is a band who covers modern pop songs and rock songs as jazz, as big band jazz, or as swing jazz, or as vocal jazz, or as instrumental jazz, and I like them very much. There is some from first album of Lorde. There is something from Kanye West from his earlier albums, and from his last album, I guess, a couple of hits I put there. There are a lot of songs by artists that I consider great. There is a Long Season album by Fishman, an amazing thing. There are a couple of hits by The Caretaker, Leland Kirby. I love to listen to them in their entirety on from my computer and from my budget sound system. But to have a couple of his best here is also very sweet, a very amusing experience. And there is a couple of Signal Wave records that I got from a recommendation by Pat Chennington, and some other things. It doesn't matter what it is for me, but for you it should be like your absolute best, something that you listen to time and time again each year, and that doesn't bore you. Or if it does, like in half a year or in a year, you want to return to it. There are like 10 or 12 albums for me that I love to return to and that I love to use this thing for. And what I want to advise you with this short video is get any old device that you already have. It can be your old phone, your old computer, your old MP3 music player, and get those absolutely best records too there. If you don't like piracy or downloading things or owning things by that matter, there are various ways on how to put music on there. You can even connect streaming service playlists there, not being able to have it all of these streaming services there. You can use your old Windows phone, or you can buy a used Windows phone. They are very good as music players. There was a dedicated music player called Zune, which is quite a rarity and quite expensive now, but Windows phones are great at music. I have an old Lumia phone that I like and that I use also for bass music, but which I need to choose. So records there differ from those, like here are absolute best, and there are records like depending on different mood. Like half of the time I still listen to music from YouTube or from streaming services, but half of the time I listen to them from my entire music library here. And this is what I call a platinum record. It's my sort of small framework for understanding your top picks in music, and this is what I recommend to you very well. By the way, you can get those shuffles for like 15 or 20 bucks, so you can also consider this, but then you can consider using iTunes as well. Thank you for watching. I am Antos Sivych. I'm artist, filmmaker, and an inventor. I do a lot of projects that are connected to both technology, writing, culture, uncovering new perspectives on various things in our everyday life. I also develop my own physical operating system that you can check in a pinned comment. It helps in all kinds of tasks, creative work tasks, everyday tasks, and it works on like any pen and paper. I also have a lot of artistic works that work exactly in this musical way, as music albums, as EPs, and I do them with poems from the world and from my culture, and it is my way to transform those almost forgotten parts of culture to something that is attractive, something that is interesting to people, something that is new and fresh and novel. So you can also check this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching till the very end. I'll see you in next videos. I often publish videos about various phenomena of culture, of technology, and various things that are of a huge interest. I uncover and share and develop various frameworks and methods of understanding and using all of this reality around us. So if you like this vibe or anything that I told, subscribe, like, share, and comment.